welcome to the podcast. This is our very first interview, and we're in Hebden Bridge at the moment, and we're in the Old Gate pub. They're looking after us upstairs, really nice to give us a corner to speak to Ed. This is Ed Sutcliffe, and Ed works in
the farming industry, I guess you call it. Play about with sheep, I guess.
So Ed's come to talk to us today. We've bought fibre from you, Ed, haven't you, from your sheep, and we just wanted to have a chat about the process and about Ed's background a bit. So if we start off asking you, really, has your family always been involved in farming?
No, they haven't. Well, interesting fact actually, we've traced back our family tree, and between the family we were lucky enough to buy some land that had a building on where you came visiting.
Oh yeah.
So there's like 18 acres there that we own, and plus the building. And anyway, we've traced back our family heritage, and about 5 generations ago, the same one of our family members actually farmed that land. Yeah, we didn't even know. So yeah, but no, I'm not from a farming background.
But no. It's in the blood.
It sounds like it, doesn't it? Yeah, we're a bit shocked when we've traced it back.
So it's lonk and white-faced woodland sheep.
Yeah, we have a few commercial sheep as well, but yeah, those are the lonk and the white-faced woodland are the ones that we're offering the wool for sale.
Right.
Obviously, it's something a bit interesting and different, isn't it?
Okay, so having those sheep, which are mainly like sheep for meat, usually, would you say? Or historically, what? Because this is quite a harsher environment here, isn't it, in the hills?
Well, if you go back far enough, every sheep was sort of bred for its wool.
Right.
It's only more modern times where the sheep industry's had to adapt and go more down like the fat lamb production. Right. So this is why you're ending up with a lot of these breeds becoming rare breeds, because they're not as good at producing fat lambs as some of your other more continental breeds. So historically, well, locally there was a court battle over it, because he used to winter. This was up on the moors around Eptonstall. So he never used. So all his all his male lambs, weather lambs, he used to winter them.
Right.
All winter. They'd run out on the moor and they'd trespass everywhere. And the reason for that was because they'd shear them. They'd run them on another year, then they'd shear them.
Right. Okay.
To get the wool off, because it was worth so much.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. And so it used to people buying farms with the wool check, buying new Land Rovers. This is, going back a long time. It's not that long because it's within living memory, because you can talk to people that are like sort of the farmers that are 80 years old now, and they remember it.
Oh, really?
As kids, they used to go around picking up wool off barbed wire and out at fields and stuff it in a bag, and they'd shear dead sheep. Wow. And all sorts of stories, like that. It's ever since your man-made fibres came out that obviously wool's taken a bit of a nosedive, and obviously recently the pandemic didn't help, because now it's sort of it just all goes into carpets. That's the sad thing about it. Right. The majority of British wool goes into carpets, but obviously the pandemic, all the factories were shut, so that had a knock-on effect.
So from your what was it then that made you go to the light bulb moment where you said, you and Laura, because we have to your wife. So what was it?
We were just, wool's been such a sad story, for a long time, and we were just looking basically to earn a bit extra money for the business, the farming business, because obviously that's trouble with farming. Like it can be quite difficult financially and stuff, because obviously you haven't got control over what prices are going to be and things like that. So we wanted to sort of diversify, just to help, like, obviously our business out. And it was just by chance, really, because like we were thinking of trying to do something with the meat, like the rare breed meat, and then we thought, oh, well, we'll try and do something with the wool as well. And so it just so happened that we messaged Nick at Whitehall Studio, and then it all went from there, really.
So Nick is a designer, isn't she? She's
Yeah.
a designer, and she has
Who lives in Eptonstone.
Yeah, and she has well, it's a community, isn't it, really, of machine knitters, and so living so close, that really worked
It did,
well.
yeah, it worked well, yeah, it did. And like I say, I just messaged her and I was like, do you want to buy some fleeces? Like, and I thought, if I sell her 10 fleeces, like at a tenner a piece, I thought I'm better off.
Yeah.
You know, a lot better off than what I would be otherwise. Whereas a fleece, I'd get like about £1 a fleece or something like that. So yeah, I messaged her that, and she's like, I can't do anything with raw fleeces. She says it has to be turned into yarn. So then I found a lady through Instagram that did hand spinning.
Oh yeah.
So she hand spun me some into yarn.
Okay.
So then this was with the lonk. So then she sent it me back, and then it all went from there, really. I gave that to Nick, and she had a play with it. And
Wow.
so yeah, it all went from there, really.
Smashing. Wow, that's really interesting. So the pair of you got together, and then how did you go? Did you go straight onto the Kickstarter, or you made a plan from there?
Yeah, so Nick had obviously a bit of an experiment with the yarn, and obviously we told her about the story of the lonk sheep grazing on the moor, and obviously like how important these habitats are and things like that, and all the wildlife that it supports. And then Nick said she thought, oh, I think there's something in this, like. So I mean, I didn't have a clue what I was letting myself in for then. So she just said, oh, why don't we see if we can get all your... So we started off just to see if we could get all the lonk wool turned into yarn. And so me and Laura, we had like nothing to lose, because it was just worth bugger up. We've got to shear the sheep, and the wool was, the sad fact is, it's worth like nothing. So we were just like, we've nothing to lose here, so let's do it. Like, so we gave it a go, and honestly, it was just like a bit like opening Pandora's box. I just didn't know what I was letting myself in for. It's just like I still can't get my head around it. It's just blown my mind completely.
So it was a huge success, really.
It was, yeah. Well, that's how the Whiteface Woodland sort of became involved as well, because we offered the lonk, and then like that was, we were running out because we did some calculations of how much yarn we thought we'd end up with, and it got to a point where we'd like pretty much sold out of all the lonks. So it was like, oh, and then we were like, well, why don't we offer the Whiteface Woodland to people as well? So we did that, and then again, so people were all over it. It was just like, it blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. It was just like, because I've come from a background of just like it literally being worth nothing, and then I meet people like yourself, and it's just like you're in love with wool, and it's just like I just can't. It's like for so long, all my friends, farming friends, it's all just like, such a negative story about all surrounding wool, and it was just like, we only do it because it's a welfare need for the sheep. And then like I come across all the knitting community, and it was just like, couldn't believe it. It was just like a world that I'd never come across before.
And I think as well now, knitters are much more savvy about breeds, and this breed will do that, so if I want something that is very soft, I'll go for that. If I want socks, I need something with a little bit of bite that's going to be harder wearing. They understand those things a little bit more. And we were using on our sheep to skein course, we've been using Ed and Laura's Whiteface Woodland tops, and yesterday we were dyeing it, so It's great fun. It's fabulous. It's fabulous to spin. Yeah. So we've been using that, and we'll be, we get some more this year as well. So I think that people are knowing exactly why that is good, why the why the lonk is, or the whiteface woodland is good, and what they're gonna use that for. So
well, that's one thing I've sort of learned is like there seems to be sort of specific breeds that these sort of bigger firms are using all the time. So it's like your Cheviot, your Blueface Leicester, your Shetland, and then you don't tend to come across, that's 3 breeds out of about 80 in the UK. So it's like people are missing out on all this other variety that we've got, and
so would you
it's a
say,
bit of a shame, really.
For people who didn't know, would you say say people knit with Shetland?
Yeah.
Would you say the whiteface woodland and the lonk is the equivalent sort of?
You're asking wrong
right,
person.
okay.
I've never knitted with Shet. I've never knitted. So
we'll find out. We'll find out.
No, we just want to offer people something different. Just try.
You see, I think even with knitters, and I mean, you learn so much. So for us, we think, we think, what can we make with that? Or weavers, I mean, that we're more connected with weavers and spinners. What can you make with that? But when you're talking about, actually, it's to do with the environment as well, and the environment that the sheep are kept in, and how that all feeds into the land and the ecosystem and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's
it's really important, isn't it?
That's why we obviously offered the lonk and the whiteface woodland, because historically they're our local sheep to this area, so they're bred to live in this area and to thrive in what could be like a harsh environment at times, obviously up on the moors and on the hills, and I'm a bit of a sheep geek myself, and I love all the different variety and breeds that we've got in the UK, and if we lose them, we're losing. So it's part of human history that we're losing, just because it's mad to think that like each little area in the UK has got its own sheep, and they're totally different from one of each other.
It's
like,
fabulous,
they're totally
isn't
different.
it? Really, it's something to be very proud of, isn't it?
Like today with modern cars, So obviously the lonk is originally from the sort of North Derbyshire, Yorkshire, Lancashire border up to Lancaster.
Right.
That's it. And then the Penistone, the whiteface woodland is from like the Penistone area, which is like south, sort of Huddersfield area, isn't it? And the moors off there. So, like by sort of today standards in a car, it doesn't take very long to get to either places. But it's amazing how such a short car journey, how they can change the sheep change so much.
So when you and Laura and Nick were together, so how did Zoe become involved? Because the Wool Circle is not just the 3 of you.
No,
is it?
yeah. And then it's who was it joined as well? Saz, who does the Naturally Dying.
Right. Okay.
So Nick, she obviously runs the machine knit community, and she'd organised a talk with Zoe.
So Zoe's the woolist.
Yeah, the woolist, yeah. So she'd organised a talk through a machine knit community thing. And it was the first Zoom call I ever did as well.
Was it?
So, yeah. And so she said, why don't you come on board? Because it's Zoe, she's got a doctorate in... she'll be able to tell you what exactly the title is, but it's in all the different breeds and what.
She is also a sheep geek, isn't she?
She's full on sheep geek, like myself. And so anyway, I jumped on this Zoom call, and then I was like listening to Zoe and stuff, and again I was just totally blown away by Zoe, because there was someone that was so passionate about, she wasn't a farmer or anything, not from a farming background, but she was so passionate about sheep and wool, wanting to help the British wool industry. You know, like just have a look at some of her work, it's amazing. And I was just completely blown out. Like, here's someone that's so interested in it. And again, you know, like I said before, I'm coming from the angle where it's like, it's worth an fall, you know what I mean? And like knitting's, no offence for like an old lady in a rocking chair, you know what I mean?
Rude.
that were my, you know, preconceived, like, well, probably a lot of people.
No, you say they turn on you.
No worries, it's not my view anymore. So I'd obviously come from that angle, met Zoe, and then I remember chatting to Zoe, and she said she catalogued all the different breeds in the UK, and did like some really good scientific work with it. And I remember chatting to her, and she said like so many of the breeds were quite easy to source, but she says I think there were like 10 or 20 breeds that were really hard to source.
Really?
And the lonk was one of them.
Right, okay.
And she ended up having to go, I don't know why, but she went up to Aberdeen to source a lonk fleece.
When you were there all the time?
Yeah, when she only lives in sort of Bolton area, and it's like not far from, you know, where the lonks originally live, but you know, there's just not that many. Well, there's not that many lonk farmers around anymore, really. So I think there'll be about 3. I mean, it sounds a lot, but it's not really. So there's about 3 to 4,000 lonk sheep left, and then the white-faced woodland's even less than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're quite rare indeed. Yeah.
So it was good that you were all in in the northwest. In a relatively close.
Yeah, because that's quite another good thing, nice thing actually, because we're in like the northwest, which historically was the wool spinning area of the UK.
So there's you and Laura, Nick, Saz.
Saz, yeah. So Saz, she became involved through. She's a friend of Nick's. It's all to do with the machine knit community, isn't it? So she's part of the machine knit community, and she lives at Saddleworth, and she's into her naturally dyeing. So she did. Well, first of all, she did some samples for us. So she forages everything locally, all the plant bits and stuff. So she joined, and one of the things that she's found about the lonk and the white-faced woodland is that they're really good at taking dye.
Wow, that's good,
compared to some of the other breeds, yeah.
So if you are really into your dyeing and your natural dyeing, then that's a really handy thing to know. So if you are obviously all your wool is undyed, so this is a great opportunity really for natural dyers to have a go with the with a wool that you know is going to really work well and take the dye. Yeah,
because obviously the conventional system at the moment, where sort of everyone sends it to the wool board, the lonk and the white-faced woodland wool, because there's so few sheep, you know, there's millions of sheep in the UK, so there's so few sheep within those breeds that they actually put the two breeds together, the wool, they grade it together,
so it'll get lost
and it goes into carpets. So obviously like we're losing, you know, up till now we've been losing those qualities, because one thing that was so obvious to me, you know, I'm totally new to this the whole journey, but one thing I know, I went to collect the yarn from the mill when it had been finished, because I just thought, when I turned up, I thought, how am I going to be able to tell? I thought, I hope they've got labels on these bags. I thought, how am I going to tell the difference between white-faced woodland and long? As soon as I got there, I looked at these bags, you could tell the difference straight off.
Really?
Yeah, difference in colour.
Really?
Yeah, the white-faced woodland was a lot sort of whiter, and the lonk was like more sort of creamier, like a creamy, smoky colour. And then to feel the two, how they felt different. the white-faced woodland was slightly softer, and the lonk was slightly coarser than out of the two breeds. Yeah.
Interesting.
So
having done that then with the Kickstarter, and that was all done and dusted.
Yeah.
What was your new plan then for this? Say the clip this time.
So yes, this year, because obviously the Kickstarter went so well, and there's obviously there is demand there for more breed specific wool. So I didn't just want it to be about me and Laura. I wanted to try and help the industry, the wider industry, because it's just such a shame, to see this amazing like you write down a list of everything that wool does, qualities that it's got, and it's just like, hang on a minute, why aren't we using it? Especially, they keep going on about the climate crisis all the time, don't they? And it's like, well, why aren't we using more of this? It's sustainable, it's good for the environment, biodegradable, and it's just like they're still making, all these man-made fibres all the time. So I didn't want it to be about us. I wanted to help the industry as a whole, because it needs change, because it's just been stuck in a rut for God knows how long now. So I got in contact. This is a great thing about these local breeds, you see. Mm-hmm. They were all my neighbours.
Oh, really?
So for the lonk, especially the lonk, it was dead easy. I just rang my neighbours up. We all obviously I graze them at my sheep out onto Heptonstall Common, and the other farmers, they graze adjoining moors, you see. So I just rang them up and said what we were doing, and I said, look, we want to buy some wool off you this time. We want more wool so we can offer more to knitters, and as well we want to support the farmers.
And did they think that was a great idea?
They thought I was daft.
Yeah, did they?
They thought I was daft, but I said to them, I said, look, we're serious, like, we want to buy this wool from you, and I'm not just going to pay you the bog standard rate. We want to support you, we want to pay you. So I've been paying them £1 a kilo.
Okay.
So roughly that's about £2 a sheep.
Right, okay.
So granted, it's still not a lot.
No, it's
better, yeah. So it's better than what they've been receiving. So that'll have covered. So it's roughly, to shear a sheep, if you get your contractors in, it costs between £1 to £1.50 per sheep to shear a sheep. So obviously that covers that cost, plus a little bit left over. Okay. So it's a modest increase, but it's the start. Obviously, we're a new business. We couldn't go. I'd love to pay them. I'd love it if a farmer could buy a new Land Rover with his wool check again. You know what I mean? They're a bit expensive these days, aren't they? I suppose. So we did that, and then as soon as they were like, it were just like watching myself again. When I was talking to these people, and I was telling them the story, and I'm going to pay more for your wool and stuff, and then it were like seeing the faces. It was like how I was at the beginning. It was like watching it slowly, like cogs whirring in their head, and then being like, "So you mean you're going to pay me more for wool?" They couldn't understand
there's
it. Yeah,
nothing for them to lose.
No, that's it. Yeah, they couldn't understand and grasp what was going on, because they were like me when I first started out on this journey. We're all so used to it being worth zero. And it just like being feel like it's just going to waste. So obviously, once they were on board, they're super supportive about it now, and like,
that's really good.
Yeah, they're optimistic about the future with wool and stuff. They're really glad to be a part of the journey that we're on. Yeah, so it's been one of the absolute highlights for me. He's been able to obviously deal with these farmers, and and watch them get enthusiastic about wool again.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Because we're all sheep geeks. All farmers are sheep. there's no reason really for us to keep these rare breeds anymore. It's only because we like doing it. So to watch them, it's given me so much pleasure being able to work with them. And then again, with the Whiteface Woodlands, so we're members of the Lonk Society and the Whiteface Woodland Society, but obviously we do a bit of we don't tend to do it with the Lonks because they're on the moors and stuff, but obviously Laura shows her Whiteface Woodlands and stuff, so obviously we know other members of the society through obviously the shows, and we go to the committee meetings and stuff like that, so obviously we asked a few the breeders there, and again same reaction. I think the furthest person that we've dealt with was at Bernard Castle. Everyone else has been within pretty local, So and that the Whiteface Woodland was a little bit harder to source. That's why we had to sort of go to someone at Bernard Castle because they're just, like I say, they're just a bit harder to source. There's just not as many around.
So it's really important to keep supporting.
Definitely, or else we're going to lose these breeds.
Okay, so this time you've been involved more with the Wool Board, haven't you?
Yeah, so obviously we did the Kickstarter, and out of the blue, we received a letter from the British Wool Board, and Laura, my wife, she opened it first because she thought it was going to be like a price list of what we were going to get this year for our wool, so she thought I'll open it and have a bit of a laugh about it. And anyway, she rang me up, she's like, I'm just reading this letter. So she says we've had an open invitation from the CEO of British Wool to come and meet him and have a chat, about what we're doing. So his name was Andrew Hodgley, and he'd not long been in the role. I think he'd just started either just before the pandemic or when the pandemic was on. So he said they haven't been. This was the sort of the first opportunity to sort of get to meet people, because he says they are looking. He did seem quite modern. He was a bit of a moderniser. What he obviously saw what
open-minded.
Yeah. He saw obviously what was happening with the industry. We can't just rely on the carpet industry all the time, because look what happened in the pandemic. Nobody wanted it. No one would make it. So he invited us to have a chat about what we were up to, and showed us round. Obviously the depot at Bradford. Really nice. We told him what we were doing. So
all the wool from around the country goes to that one depot?
No, they have. So that's their headquarters, because obviously historically, Bradford was obviously the spinning centre of the universe once over, wasn't it? Wool spinning centre of the universe many moons ago. So that's their main headquarters. So they have that one. That sort of covers the north, where they do all the grading. Then they have one in Scotland, and then one in Wales. Okay. Oh yeah, I think Bradford must do for all of England actually. Yeah, okay. And then they have a few little other depots dotted around the country where people take the wool in to these little depots, and then it all gets transported to Bradford.
So you were able to go and see the whole process, because we followed it on your Instagram.
We did.
Scouring and
we haven't been to look at the scouring yet, actually.
Oh, haven't you?
No,
that's
what
the other one. Then?
So we went to. So obviously showed us around their depot, and obviously showed us. I mean, I've been before, obviously, to drop my wool off and things like that, but I've obviously just dropped it off and left. So it was nice to look round. So it showed you. So they've got about 4 or 5 tables set up, and each table has a grader, and they lift the bags up, then open them up, and then the wool flops down onto the table, and then they grade each individual fleece. and that is that is a total like hats off to these people, because we actually got our wool graded this year through the Wool Board, so I was there through the whole process, and they were absolutely like amazing, because I was working. The one guy that was grading our fleeces, so each grade has its own number, and there's hundreds. So he knew them all off the top of his head straight away. Yeah. So behind each grader, they'll have about 20 these blue bins on wheels. So, and this guy, he just picked a fleece up, looked at it, and he knew straight away which bin to put it in. And he just knew which numbers they were on each bin, and he'd put them in. And it was just like the sheer skill of it was amazing. So it was really nice. I came away thinking it was really nice to be able to as well support these people, these highly skilled jobs. Again, within the woolen industry that haven't, luckily it hasn't been exported to China yet or something like that.
So so this time you're not doing a Kickstarter. You're working in a different way.
Yeah. So this time we're running it through our website. We're not doing the crowdfunder like we did previously, because crowdfunder was good. It got us going. But they took a bit of a chunk of a fee, which is fair enough. So obviously we thought, we want to.
Yeah. We want that money to go back to the farmers.
That's it. We want that money to go back to the farmer, and obviously we've got other projects that we want to work on that we can obviously use this money towards. So we decided we'd run the pre-sales through our website this time.
So if it is that this is something that you feel passionate about as well, then this is something to really, really get behind. We'll put a link to Ed and Laura's website, the Wool Circle website, and then you can go on there and have a look at the wool and see what you think. And if they've got questions, are they all right to send? So
you can contact us. Obviously, we've got an email address. You can email us through that, info@woolcircle.co.uk, or else obviously we've got our Instagram page. Feel free to message us on that with any messages.
And what about tops and things like that for spinners? Is that something people contact you about? When will that be available?
So at the moment we're running the log pre-sales, and then within mind we'll be running the woodland one pre-sales next. So obviously the issue is its timings with the mill, so because there's not that many mills left, and it's a very expensive process, the spinning process. So that's why obviously we wanted to run the pre-sales in the first place, obviously to help us fund the spinning, because we've all. None of us has got paid or anything yet. All the money that we've had from this so far, we've put straight back in to the Wool Circle, because obviously we want to keep it going. We want to support the farmers, and we want real change.
Ideally, is for people to keep an eye, follow you on Instagram, and then all the information.
He's on there.
Come on there.
Yeah, so obviously we got in contact with the mill, and between all the processes, I can't remember how many weeks it was, so it's roughly like an 8 to 12 week process from obviously getting the wool there to obviously us getting it back. So that's obviously why we offer the pre-sales now, so you can obviously buy it now, and then and obviously we're offering a discount as well at the moment while the pre-sales are running, because obviously because we want to we want to work with the knitting community, and obviously we want to reward the knitters, because you guys come up with all the amazing
and also
knitwear.
it's a lovely wool to weave with. And so if you weave with a rigid head loom, there is 4-ply wool and double knit, is that right? So what is those the gauges?
Yeah, with
gauges
4-ply DK, and we're offering Aran weight this year as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got that's new to this year.
Wow. So good options if you are a knitter or a weaver, and then when the tops become available, spin, and then you're taking the process right through. And one of the things I think is brilliant about this is that if you are a spinner who it's preparing the fleece, washing a fleece and carding, all that process is not really your thing. And I know a lot of spinners who it's not really what they like. They like to just get the fibre and spin. But you can do this and still be doing a really, really important thing, supporting a farmer, supporting rare breeds and the environment, without actually getting your hands dirty, which is which is the best.
Yeah, we've had some quite nice feedback actually off the hand spinners, from the fibre, yeah.
Well, we like it, and we found it absolutely brilliant for beginners because it's not too slippy, which is often difficult for beginners, and we like that. So it's a really lovely thing.
Oh, brilliant!
So if you want to have any more information, have you got any other tips or anything for is it? If there are any farmers out there, would they connect with you, or are you expanding slowly?
We do, yeah. So obviously this year's quite crucial because obviously if we could we do have.
You need to make it work.
Yeah, we need to make it work.
Isn't it?
Yeah, we need to make it work. We do need, money's.
Yeah.
We do need to make money. It's not. But the reason we're not in it for profit. We don't want to make huge, massive profits. We will just want to make enough so we can do what we're doing, and we want those profits to go back to the right people. We want to support the farmers, we want to support the knitters, and also we want to support the skill set that's in the UK. That's the spinning process, the graders at the wool board. These are all people that we want to support. By what we're doing.
So it's really important. So spread the word as well. We tell as many people as we can and get the word out there, and then that's that's only going to help as well, isn't it?
We do want the vision for the future is obviously to grow. I'd love it if we could work with as many farmers and as many different sheep breeds as possible, but obviously at the moment, we need to I get proper
slow,
excited about it. Thinking of it because the experience I've had this year working with these farmers, it's just been so nice, and it's like I want to keep it going. I don't want to let these farmers down. I want to help, and I want to help other farmers because that's my real passion, is the farming industry. And that's what I want to do.
Get the knitters and the weavers and the spinners behind you. And
that's it. Yeah, well, that's it. We can't do what we're trying to do without you guys. You're like the 5th team member.
Yeah.
Like without you guys, it's like we just can't do what we're doing. And I know that the knitting industry, they do want change. As much as the farming industry, and it's like hopefully we can, in a small, granted in a small way, hopefully we can start bridging that gap.
Yeah. Would be brilliant.
Yeah, to try and make a real difference for the future.
Brilliant. Well, it's been so good chatting with you.
Thank you,
interesting. And hopefully we'll catch up with you again, and maybe at Lamin.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no worries. It saves talking to my sheep. Anyway, it's nice to talk to a human.
So thanks very much. Thanks for watching. It's been great to catch up, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.